When I was 14, I had a train ran on me by three senior boys in high school. I was 14, one was 17, another was 17, and one was 16 years old. When I was 14, I got bullied a lot, so I didn't have any friends in school, and my home life was no better than my school life.
We interrupt this program to prescribe you with 1,000 milligrams of red vitamins.
Right here, right now. It's the right time, It's the right sound. Right now. Tell the whole pipe down. Tell that nigga pipe down.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Reclaim Your Throne coming at you with another crazy video. But first, my goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. And you already know, Reclaim Your Throne. Alright guys, so I actually have a 304 origin story for you. And this is going to be interesting. We're only going to break down one video because it's pretty long. And I am going to interject here and there to just give you guys some perspective and, you know, a little tip on how you should proceed in dating if you see some of these signs, some of these behavioral issues coming from modern women. And this in particular is a black woman, and she's explaining how she got her first train ran on her and how it influenced her life in the future to go into intercourse work. So let's break this down. Let's listen up and make sure that you are taking notes and understanding just how detrimental the sexual past of a woman can be if you are trying to court her for long term.
When I was 14, I had a train ran on me by three senior boys in high school. I was 14, one was 17, another was 17, and one was 16 years old. When I was 14, I got bullied a lot, so I didn't have any friends in school, and my home life was no better than my school life.
Boom. So as you can see, most likely grew up in a single mother home or with an abusive father, mother, however you want to call it. She describes her home life not being up to par with other children in the school, and that affected her. Okay, so now she feels neglected. She feels like she doesn't have anyone in her corner. She is just longing for some type of fulfillment in life, some type of feeling of love. Although in this case, you know, it's not really love, but what she perceives as love and interest. You know, anybody who's interested in her, she is going to reciprocate that because she has a low self-esteem. So this is exactly what's happening in this scenario.
I was the black sheep of my family, and I was severely mistreated in my home, and I was left out, neglected, and bullied in school. I walked to school every day by myself with my headphones in, listening to my music, and I walked home every day by myself. I never bothered anyone. I never talked to anyone. I was a very shy child. These boys were extremely handsome and very popular in school, and they also happened to have to walk every day to school.
Boom. So the clout, the notoriety, you see, I mean, a lot of these chicks, oh, I don't care about clout. Oh, I don't care about looks. You see, the first thing that she said, these boys were extremely handsome and they were clouted up. They were popular kids in school, most likely athletes of some sort, and they got her attention, and they were, you know, pressing down on her, and she went for it. Why? Because of the way they looked, because of their notoriety, their status at the school. They are contextual alphas at the school, and this is what we keep talking about, contextual alphas. Now, they could have been athletes, I'm not sure, but you know, we all know that athletes are known for running trains, but this also could be a Thug Max Alpha Simp clique who got clouded up at the school, you know, maybe because they're plugged in, they smoking weed in the bathroom, they have access to adult goods, before they're actually adults, and then that's how they get the clout and whatnot in high school, at least, especially when it comes to a black school.
To and from. And one day, they decided to start speaking to little old me. Now you have to understand my perspective at this time. I was a nobody and nothing, both in school and in my home life. Nobody gave a damn about me. To the point teachers had to bring food to school, groceries for me at one point in time. And all of a sudden, the popular boys were coming up to me and talking to me while we were walking home to school together. Not only were they popular, they were attractive. All the girls wanted them. They were in ROTC, they played sports, they were light-skinned, they had the curly hair.
Wow. So she's just going all into the colorism argument and all that kind of stuff. They were in ROTC, they were light-skinned, they played sports, they had curly hair. Next, she's going to say they had green eyes. I mean, this is the playbook that we talk about all the time now, especially in high school. A lot of women like to reflect on high school and say, oh, well, the boys were colorist, they didn't like dark-skinned girls and all this kind of stuff. But the reality is, you would see that the dark-skinned girls were also colorists and they weren't rocking with the dark-skinned boys. So it goes both ways. Obviously, it's not every dark-skinned boy or every dark-skinned girl who was beefing with, the other dark-skins. But as you can see, she had more of an attraction to them because they were light-skinned. And this is something that she admitted out of her own mouth. So when they like to talk about the black men being colorists, I can turn that back around and say, hey, man, y'all are no better because you're over here chasing this high yellow ninja. And, the reality is that is what your preference is, but you can't get him off of the strength. So, in this case, she just had to give the whop up and get a train ran on her to have access to these men. But, in normal cases, they can't get access to these men because maybe they're not attractive enough, or maybe these men aren't looking their way, or maybe they're not letting their presence be known and their adoration for those men be known so that those men could approach them in a meaningful way.
The best fits, the flyest Jordans, and they were talking to me with my raggedy clothes, with my hand-me-downs, with my hot waters, with my hair all over my head, with my funky armpits.
Oh, God.
I felt like I was dreaming. I couldn't believe it. Like, this could finally be my chance. I could finally have some friends. I could finally be part of the popular crowd. I could finally be in. Right? They told me that I was cool. That they wanted me to come over and play games with them. So that's what I did. One day I followed them home. I walked right down the street with them to their house. And I went inside to play Call of Duty with them.
Now, come on. At this point, I mean, you're getting invited to their crib to play video games. And this is where we're having to start to talk about accountability. Now, it sounds like she's already owning up to her mistake. But this is another example of modern women have the digital footprint of an adult film actress. I continue to say this, and people keep trying to steal it. People keep trying to say they heard it from somebody else. No, you didn't. I'm the one who created that. I'm the one who made up that phraseology. And, now people are jumping on it, hopping on it, trying to take it. But I have created this phrase, and I should get a trademark. But, it's something that has been ingrained into the society because of IG, because of Twitter, because of these social media networks. And you can see the public school to, intercourse work pipeline working full and well in this case.
I remember their home was much different from my home life. Their mom was in the kitchen cooking. Their aunts were in there. They was all chit-chatting. They offered me a plate. Their brothers and cousins were all in the room playing together. I was so amazed. I felt so welcomed. I felt so at home. I thought to myself, I never want this feeling to stop. I don't want to go back home to where I was at and get cussed out, yelled, and abused. This is amazing. I got new friends and maybe even a new family too. We played Call of Duty until the sun went down, and then his mom told me I needed to go home. As I was going home, he told me, come back. I'll sneak you in so that we can play the game some more. When it started to get dark, I obviously had to head back home. But as I was getting ready to leave, he came up to me and said, come back tonight. I'll sneak you in so we can play more of the game. 14-year-old me, who wouldn't want to play more of the game with one of the most popular boys in school? Come on now. So that's what I did. I came back. And we played the game. And then he leaned over and he touched me. And he kissed me. And he told me I was pretty. In my mind, it was like someone blew my head off. The popular boy in school just told me I was pretty and kissed me.
So literally, he's fulfilling her dreams. You know, a lot of people would frame this as lover boy technique, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. Pickup artist, lover boy game. And, you know, they're all kids. He's a senior in high school, dating a freshman. It's definitely a reach. But this is kind of what goes down at these, you know, high schools. I've told you guys before, in elementary school, the elementary school girls were dating middle schoolers. In middle school, the middle school girls were dating high schoolers. In high schools, the high school girls are dating college guys. In college, your undergrad, the undergrad women are dating guys who are in grad school. So they oftentimes are gonna date up when it comes to their age range. In this case, it you know, obviously she's not dating this guy, but he comes on strong to her, and she likes it because she hasn't had this feeling before with anybody, as she's telling the story.
And likes me. That's what he's telling me. He likes me. Fast forward, and he's got my clothes off, and we're doing the whoop-de-woo, and I'm completely vulnerable. And as we're doing it, and he turns me over and tells me to get on my hands and knees and arch my back, I hear the door crack open. I look up in shock, gasp, thinking his mom has called us and we're about to be in so much trouble, but nope. It's his brother. He never stopped stroking me as his brother walked in, and I sat there in disbelief, my mind racing. Mind you, I hadn't even had sex really before this. You know, a couple of little playful things here and there, but this was really my first full time going all the way. So now I'm wondering what's going on. Why hasn't he stopped? Do I stop? Do I lay here? Do I tell him to stop? I don't really know. His brother walks in, he never stops stroking, and then he leans down and whispers in my ear, can my brother get a turn?
Oh! Oh, shit. Yo, this man, she's saying this man literally whispered in her ear, can my brother get a turn? Yo, that's crazy. God damn. Oh, man. But, I mean, it just goes to show. It just goes to show, like, what is really going on. A lot of people are not understanding the digital footprint. A lot of people are not understanding the body count, the sexual history. A lot of people are just oblivious to it, and we're trying to tell them, hey, man, these girls getting busy at a young age. And I mean, that's just the reality. Now, obviously, she was super young, but accountability 100% needs to be held. Okay? Now, we're only getting her side of the story, right? So it's seeming very much like they were preying on her and all this kind of stuff. But, I mean, if y'all ever been to one of these hood schools, you know for a fact what goes down. A lot of these chicks are giddy to do this. As a matter of fact, you know, we had some chicks at our high school who were known for just giving lines of dudes throat. The wrestling team, throat. You know, the football team, throat. So we knew those types of chicks at the school, and they usually were a fat chick, you know what I'm saying? Usually a little fat bitch. She ain't getting attention, so she's sucking dick. That's where the fat bitches can suck dick thing comes from. Very, you know, these are just like hood tales and things you grow up hearing. But in this case, it's a very real scenario and a very real situation, because it just sounds like something that I heard when I was in high school from, some of the Thug Max Alpha Simps who were doing these types of train activities. Now, me personally, I was not a big train guy. I can't fathom the go behind thing. I can't fathom the being in the same room with another guy thing. So it wasn't my forte. But I definitely have heard stories being an athlete and being acquainted with a substantial amount of Thug Max Alpha Simps.
I don't really know what to say. I don't know what to do. Do I say no? Do I say yes? I mean, I should say no, right? Can your brother get it? I don't even know your brother, but I finally have some friends.
Ooh.
And their family's really nice to me. I hate to mess this up. So him and his brother get a turn. But then the door cracks open again.
Uh-oh.
And here comes his cousin. Ain't no fun unless we all get some, right? That's what they told to me. I'll spare you all the details of my sad sob story, but let's just say fast forward, everyone has their fun, I guess. And it's time for me to go home. And I'm confused. And I'm ashamed. And I don't really have anybody I can talk to about it. I don't know what I just did. And I don't even know if I liked what I just did. Anyways, because I know this video is getting long and you guys probably don't want to hear all the details. Long story short, back then, I didn't realize that I was a victim. I didn't realize that was a manipulation tactic. I didn't realize I was targeted. Back then, I was just ashamed. I felt like I had been a whore, a harlot. I felt disgusted.
And she definitely was, Here's the tricky situation with that. Like I said, we're not hearing both sides of the story. And obviously, in many cases, that is kind of how trains work, where it's sprung up on the chick. And then either she goes with it or she's just completely, disgusted by it and walks out. And in this case, as you can see, she went with it. Some accountability needs to be held. Now, I'm not saying that they were completely right in their activities either, right? But at the same time, she has already internally victimized herself when she was a willing participant. So this is just another victim mindset, feminist victim mindset when it comes to their promiscuity. And instead of just accepting, hey, I was a thought back in the day. I was a thought in high school. And it was because I was insecure. It was because I didn't have love at home. It was because of all these different factors. But that doesn't excuse the actions that I took to get fulfillment. If she would have taken that approach, then maybe we would have, looked at it as more sincere. But, the approach she's taken, it just seems like she is blaming everything that has occurred and transpired in her life on that one situation that she was a willing participant in.
Disgusting. I felt like it was my fault. I felt like I should have moved smarter.
Yeah, and this is another example of modern women retroactively withdrawing consent. You have to be very careful about that. If you are going to be intercourseally active, you need the consent forms, you need the NDAs, and that's the only way you can move forward with modern women in today's age.
And I also, in the same breath, felt like, finally, somebody loves me. Somebody wants me. Finally, I'm pretty enough. Finally, I'm good enough. And it was two confusing different feelings. And now that I'm older, I really understand what was going on. And I'm just making this video to spread awareness for the other girls that may have had the same thing happen to them or may have gone through similar things and were always too ashamed to bring it up or speak their truth. You were a victim.
All right, guys. So you heard her. She said, I am a victim, all this kind of stuff. Now let's look at the IG. A very disturbing profile picture here. If you want to look at this, it looks like there is some fox sitting on a chair. And now you can see digital footprint of an adult film actress. Very disturbed young lady. Got the tattoo on her brow. Any woman with face tattoos and chest tattoos. Tattoo on the brow, tattoo on the cheekbone. This woman has problems. She has problems. But as you can see, the link is in the bio. This is how she's moving in this day and age. Okay, I'm not going to click on all these pictures because, yeah, she's definitely doing the most. But this is the path that she chose after telling that story that was very sad, heartfelt. It was meant to, grasp at your heartstrings. And for some it may have, but for a red vitamin guy like me, I'm seeing right through it. I understand that modern women have the digital footprint of an adult film actress. I understand that modern women love retroactively withdrawing consent. I understand all of these factors that go into the dating realm, especially when it comes to high school. And I remember how the high school environment was. And, to me, it looks like she's doing exactly what she wants to do. Maybe it's to get back at her parents. Maybe it's to get back at her father. Maybe it's to get back at, people who she felt did her wrong. So she's, doing what she wants to do and embarrassing herself and her family because they made her feel that same way. Who knows what the reasons are, but it doesn't look like she learned from that situation. It looks like she's doubling down and going full force into that lifestyle. And, unfortunately, she's probably going to end up like this little fox on this chair. So anyways, you already know what it is. It's your boy Reclaim Your Throne. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Send your relationship coach to the email down below with a screenshot of your CashApp so I know you're paying on time. Man, y'all already be on our marketing with the BS. You already know. Reclaim Your Throne.
Become an elite level athlete? Well, look no further. The Reclaim Your Throne Elite D1 training course is all you need to take your performance from subpar to the creme de la creme of athletes all around the world. The purpose of this course is to give you a comprehensive weight training, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance program that is meant to prepare young athletes for collegiate and professional sports. This course is packed with over 2 hours of creative, action-packed lifts narrated and coached by yours truly to assure increased strength, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance. Hey, I get it. Training alone can be tough and can even make you feel misguided or somewhat unmotivated. But with this course, I walk you step by step through each and every lift to make sure you're using the proper form to prevent injuries and that you're hitting the correct muscle groups to render maximum results. So what are you waiting for? It's now or never. So go ahead and get the training course today so you too can reclaim your throne.